Today on the Cooligans, we are joined by Total Soccer Show.
He couldn't get it out. That's how excited he is. Absolutely incredible. We got Taylor, we got Daryl, we got us. All four of us in the same studio is going to be lit.
So all this and more today on the
Cooligans! Hello, baby!
Yeah! Let's go. What?
Come on.
Finally. That's all I have to say. Finally.
Finally.
It's happened.
The collab of collabs.
Okay. Long overdue.
Yes.
Like about 4 or 5 months.
Right.
Too long.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we got a lot of tweets.
Okay.
When is this going to happen? You know?
Hello, welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Christian Polanco.
That's right, and I'm Alexis Guerreros.
All right, we are the Cooligans. We are your favorite stand-up comedians that host the funniest soccer show that you have ever seen.
We better be.
Okay.
All right. Well, what other comedians are you watching right now that host a soccer show? Why?
Does Kevin Hart host a soccer show?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You see anyone like Dimitri Martin, you know, with an easel trying to do soccer bits?
Yo, I don't even think Dimitri Martin knows what TAM is.
Nah,
bro.
son. Get up out of here. You ain't no capologist, my dude. We're also the gulliest soccer show.
Correct.
We found a way to come back by just going.
And we're excited about today's show
That's
because
right.
not only do we have, soccer experts, soccer geniuses.
That's right, which is us. But we also have these two other people.
Our friends,
Yeah.
our dear friends.
Absolutely true. We've been on the road together. We've done multiple collab shows together.
I thought you were gonna say
special
drugs.
episodes. Yeah, dude. That's right. We're all snorting Adderall before the show. It's not true. We just these are
He has to clarify.
just because I know someone's watching, like, oh, cool. The Cooligans said I could snort Adderall. No, I didn't. You're a stepdad. Stop doing it. Leave it for your kids. These are two of our favorite people, the two favorite people in this business that we've met. We absolutely love doing collabs with them. Finally, we got them on TV. Ladies and gentlemen, unless you're driving, put your hands together and do it twice as hard because there's two of them for Total Soccer Show, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
There it is.
In unison.
Yeah.
Feels good. Yes, Taylor Rockwell and Daryl Grove. You guys
That's
are
them.
here in New York. and
Daryl's the British one, in case you're wondering.
I think we're gonna know once he says one word.
Yeah, the branding is British and beer.
Yeah. Taylor's the one who looks like he's here to pick up his kid from soccer. And also sounds like the kid he's picking up from soccer.
Okay, so
I'm just not going to talk.
people who are possibly listening to this already, we've done countless crossover episodes. We've
So
done
many.
tours together. We are quite intimate with each other. All right, it's quite a foursome.
That was part of the tour show. You really missed. That was the Amsterdam show.
But for the people possibly watching who do not know who you guys are the hosts of Total Soccer Show, which you've been hosting for quite a while.
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
And it is probably the most all-encompassing American soccer show I have ever heard. It is.
I'll say this: it's the most iconic American soccer show.
Okay, well, I wouldn't go that far.
Right.
Keep going. I want to hear more about
I'll
what it
keep
is.
going after the Cooligans. That's what I'm trying to say.
So what? How did Total Soccer Show begin for some people who may not know who you guys are? And yeah, how did you end up here?
What's the origin story?
All right, so we'll do it real fast, right?
Yeah.
So we're based in Richmond, Virginia. There was a public radio station down there. We went and pitched a soccer show. They said, are you sure there's enough soccer to talk about for 27 minutes a week? We said, we'll find a way.
27 minutes?
Yeah, 27 minutes and 30 seconds a week is what they were worried we wouldn't be able to get enough soccer content for. We started putting it out as a podcast. Some people started listening. We started sneaking in and doing extra shows. It would be like if you guys came in here when the production crew wasn't here.
Right.
And did your own
And stole the
Cooligans show.
beers out of the fridge.
Yeah, we wouldn't come here to work.
Nah. That sounds like a very you problem.
And we just kept adding a day a week till we were 5 days a week and we could cover like almost everything.
That's insane.
That's insane. So when you were doing that, obviously, I imagine you were not making any money, right? But you were doing this 5 days.
I mean, I was, but in a different job.
Oh, sure. Yes, you were a man of the night while you were.
You call them a prostitute.
That's your second sex worker joke in like 2 minutes.
he didn't say
Have you heard of us?
No, but look, look, when we were on tour together, we got to like kind of share stories about like either your soccer stories, our comedy stories, and when we started we did like other comedy podcasts, and we just kind of like made that commitment to do that, knowing that we weren't gonna make any money. We didn't know what would sort of come of it.
It was just like eating up time for us.
And and when like we were it was like 1 day a week, but to do it 5 days a week must have been a real belief in what could possibly happen.
Or was it extreme boredom?
Somewhere in between, I'd say, because really it
A
wasn't.
little bit of a Venn diagram there.
I think it was just sort of, maybe it was the incentive for me to move back from like Northern Virginia to Richmond, was just if you move back and stop living in a terrible place, then we'll go 5 days a week and it'll be fun. And that was pretty much it. It was mostly just sort of like, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. When we started off pitching the show, the network we were with asked if we were sure there was going to be enough soccer for one show a week, and now here we are with like 6 and 7 sometimes. So it all balances out.
Also, we're not dumb. We didn't start doing 5 days a week with no money, right? It was when a little bit of money came in, then we'd add a show, but we build and build and build.
Okay. Yeah.
Strategery.
Yeah. You started a soccer show in America, and you want to tell us you're not dumb? We've all been there, man. We all see what this is.
Yeah, we're trying to ask you, like, why do your wives believe in you?
That's a very good question.
We're not going to go back to England and take on Luke Moore, right?
Yeah, that's true. But
We're
we
going to stay here and take on you guys.
Yeah, we will, dog. We're coming for your fans, dog.
So, but that level of like the show is just. The show is just huge now. I mean, it is. You are arguably, and this is like the thing when I first met you guys, and we first met in Philadelphia for the United Soccer Coaches Convention. You guys came to a stand-up show.
They put the pressure on us.
That we did, right? But I didn't know I didn't really know what you guys looked like, and you guys are like the voices of soccer, but not the faces, right? Like that was like the thing where when we got to do the tour together, a lot of people were like, "Oh, I didn't know what you guys looked like," and this is like, "You guys are cool and you look okay."
People were going up to Christian going, Daryl? I'm like, nah, that ain't it.
We actually got a lot of, I thought you were the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We still get that. We still get people emailing to correct us for having it listed wrong on the website.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. You're wrong. This is the American thing. I know y'all know each other, but you did it wrong.
These people have been watching Face Off. They think we should.
Great movie.
So the fact that did you imagine the show getting this big? Like, you guys are now a part of the Athletic Network. I mean, it
You're
is
the first podcast on The Athletic, correct?
First American one, yeah.
Okay.
well, I mean, and that's saying a lot because they hate anyway. We're teasing. We love you guys. But the fact that the show got to currently where it is, like, what's next for Total Soccer Show? Are you guys even generally thinking about growth, or is it like, we're good and we can't believe this happened so
There's
far?
no more days of the week. I mean, how many more episodes can you do? What else is there for you?
I mean, I'm really enjoying just sitting here listening to you all say really nice things about us. It doesn't make me feel
It's going to end
uncomfortable
with this
at all.
segment,
Yeah,
so...
that's fair. That's fair.
We have been doing a little bit of producing. So we've started producing a couple of other shows, like a Major League Soccer show with Joe Lowry, Jordan Angeli.
Yeah.
Mostly because we don't know as much about Major League Soccer as we do about maybe some European leagues. So we thought we should help someone who'd be good at that, produce another show.
Of course. Okay.
So that's maybe the next thing is to start producing.
And I do
If
plan
you
to
guys want
throw
any
in...
tips,
Yeah.
get better guests.
I could steal some from the barista downstairs if you really want them. We got more with Total Soccer Show when we get back. Hey, baby, we back.
You're so gentle.
Sometimes I want to caress the fans. It doesn't always have to be blunt. We are here with Total Soccer Show. You guys. Sometimes people will say, what's the difference between you and soccer? No one says that. But every once in a while, the way I like to explain that is, like, the ratio that we have to jokes to facts, you guys are the opposite, right?
Yeah.
You guys are very funny, but you do research and stuff, which we don't. I mean, people are like, do you even watch the game? And I'm like, what game are we talking about?
The one we're at?
Yeah. Oh, I should turn around? Yeah. Well, maybe the concession stand needs a shorter line.
I would say based on the frequency of your storytelling, the best way to explain it would be that we stay and watch the game and and you apparently, as soon as kickoff happens, go straight to the bathroom to see if incidents occur. That seems to be the way it
goals
works.
to be scored, Taylor.
That's what he does his work.
I'm
okay?
sorry that I'm trying to help the team doing what I do best, which is releasing my bowels.
To be very serious, I think it's part of why we're friends and why we can work together is we're not a threat to each other. Right?
sure.
Like
When we first met, I think that was like immediately we recognized
Yeah.
that. Like, oh yeah, you do one thing and we do another,
Yeah.
but we're both in the same space.
You're
And I
not
think
going
that's-
to rewatch a game for tactics, and we're not going to go through Jermaine Jones's Instagram
Yeah,
endlessly.
yeah.
So
You're
You're missing out,
Yeah.
kid.
So that's what you're doing when I'm going through Instagram is watching games. Ew. But what do you think? Like, you guys focus a lot more on the nitty gritty, and a lot of what you guys talk about is the men's national team. How frustrating, first of all, is that? And two, where do you think about where we are now? Some of the tactics seem to be kind of sort of gelling with the team. Just give us a little bit of insight. Give the fans a little bit of insight that from people who actually watch the game.
I think a big thing for us, like from the beginning, and a reason why I think Daryl and I work really well together is because we both tend to want to know like what's happening and why. And I think that's what we sort of have tried to do with the show. I feel very pretentious talking about the show like this, so I apologize. But like, I think that is sort of
If it
helps
comforts
us.
you also sound it.
That's good. It does. It does. Thank you.
No problem.
But yeah, I think so. That's kind of how we try to approach it with the national team. Is less like I'm really mad about this. This is really frustrating, and more like okay, there must be a reason why they're doing it, why he's playing this way, why he's called up this player, hasn't called up that player. So I think approaching it from that perspective maybe makes it easier a little bit to talk about.
And I think that's what the two watches are for, right? The first watch is all emotion and like, oh, is that going to go in? Oh, I'm so angry that he missed that. And then the second watch is, oh, maybe he missed that shot because he was under pressure from this angle. Or, you know what I mean? So there's one emotional and one analytical.
And that the second watch already. I mean, we applaud you both because
I'm tired. I'm tired thinking about it.
I've already been through such an emotional experience that I don't know if I can watch the game
Right.
again. And that is, for people who do not know, they watch the game over again and again to analyze it. And a lot of time you get a lot of tweets all the time like, as soon as the game is happening, people are like, oh boy, I feel bad for Taylor and Darryl. They gotta watch this again.
Yeah. Well, you guys first do your quick take, hot take, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
the
when you
bigger
get a
ones.
chance. And that's like the immediate reaction to what
Yeah,
just
yeah.
happened. No data, as I like to call it, the closest thing you get to Cooligans. Just
We should call it the Alexis test.
yeah. Here's us just yelling about something that we're not even sure happened in this game. We may be talking about something that happened in another game. But then you rewatch the game and you take notes. And what I would do if Christian and I rewatched the game, we would be doing it to watch Who to Blame. You guys don't take that tag. Like, here's the guy who should get dropped from the club. You don't do that.
We call it the Jermaine Jones angle.
Yeah. With all due respect, is the name of that episode.
You really are. You really are George Costanza's father, huh? It's just like I got a lot of problems with you people. I'm gonna find one of you, and now you're gonna hear about it.
I would love it. Just, was it Jerry Stiller, right?
There you go.
Dude. Shouts to Jerry Stiller. When you rewatch it, how hard is it to sort of remove yourself and to try to be more tactical? And you guys, I know you play. Have you guys coached before? Because it seems like that's sort of you guys take the tactic of like if these were the lads, to use your phrasing, that I'm coaching. Here's what I would come back with. Here's where we messed up. You have that kind of approach to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, Taylor's got a coaching license, and we both coach an adult team for
Yeah, I could
street
get a fake
soccer.
coaching license too. This isn't right. We're not bragging here. Okay?
He has a real coaching license, and I'm very good at laying out cones.
Yeah, cool. Well, is that sort of the tactic that you guys try though? You got to be like, because the fans seem to appreciate that. Like, it seems like you guys kind of quell the anger the fans have sometimes.
I think honestly, I think Daryl's really good at that. I tend to be like the more emotional of the two, and I am the one who was probably in the past like, we can watch it once, that's fine. I think Daryl has the dedication to like making sure we actually have like watched it and have opinions on it. So I think I tend to initially, maybe in the hot take ones, be a bit more emotional, a bit more reactionary. You tend to be a bit more level-headed, unless maybe England is involved, and even then, you're usually pretty calm.
Yeah, I guess I have more free time, I guess.
Do you think
That's all it is.
But you've got somewhere else to be. I'm like, let's watch it again.
I guess I have nowhere else to go, so we'll watch this a third time. You know, where do you think the men's national team is headed? Are you confident as they sort of get closer to World Cup qualifying?
I want and before you answer that, I want to just make sure, like, some of the two matches coming up against the Netherlands and against Wales, and the last match was against Costa Rica in a friendly. And the interesting thing was we were just in Costa Rica, and I loved a moment we were talking to one of the waiters at a restaurant, and we mentioned we're American and stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, remember we beat you guys in the World Cup qualifier in New Jersey?" I'm like, yeah, man, I remember.
We were there, dude.
So it was Chris Farley show style. He just kept making it worse. Like, remember that? It was cool, right? That was
one
fun.
of the things I appreciate about you guys is you guys have genuinely made me care more about the men's national team in the level of attention that you pay that you focus on it.
So
like
it took a British guy to make you more American.
that's what he invaded my mind.
Walked in with a red coat into my brain, dude.
But even talking about the men's national team, why was that such a big focus? I can at least for Taylor, I can understand him being American. I can understand why like there's a natural sort of connection.
Yeah.
But Daryl, I would argue you know more about the U.S. men's national team than most people on this planet. So how did it make you care so much about it?
Yeah, actually, I don't have a fun answer, but the real answer is when I moved here in 2005 to marry my wife. She was kind of the only person I knew to begin with.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't really have a connection to the US, but I had a connection to soccer, right? So I started watching the US men's national team, right? So that became like my first little bit of patriotism, you know what I mean, was the US men's national team.
You can just get a red hat and just,
Well, that's the alternative, right? Yeah. Be glad I chose this one.
Yeah, please don't do the other one.
I owned a red hat, not that type of red hat.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
red hat is gone now.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing that in public.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
How long did it take before you started calling it soccer?
Not long.
Really?
I really believe in the idea that, I mean, you and I have talked about how like
Yeah.
British people can be very like, this is the way it is.
Yeah, of
kind
course.
thing. But also, if you're in a foreign country, and I know we share the same language,
Right.
but if you're in a foreign country, you use the words that people use, right? You go to Italy, you say calcio.
Do you
right?
go back? When you go back
Do
to
you?
England? Do you say soccer?
You say
still?
calcio?
I mean, I haven't been to Italy in a long time.
There we go.
Oh, wow, we're just
football
bragging
when
that
we
we've
were
been to
in
Italy. Not bad.
When I go
Do you
back,
say soccer?
Yeah, when I go back, I slip sometimes,
you?
and I'll get like a nudge or yeah.
It's like when your friend comes back from Barcelona and they're like, I was in Barcelona. You're like, you don't have to. We get it. Or they're like, Namaste. I was in India.
No,
I'm
it's
like,
not.
don't do it.
But it's not in
Don't
that
do it.
pretentious kind of way. It's more in like I just accidentally said that
Yeah.
because that's what I'm used to
Are
saying.
you like super loud when you go there, like American as hell, just kicking stuff over? Why is this beer warm?
refill my soda?
Yeah. Why isn't this cup larger for this free refill? I'm not getting diabetes.
Again.
Why?
Daryl
You
was-
have it already. Jesus. Isn't that messed up? You have it and I don't? Why do you people believe in God?
Daryl, who was the
What do
first
you mean,
American?
you people?
Who was the first American that you remember watching? Was it Harks?
Yeah, way back in the 90s, John Harks.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
And John Hawks, who also hates us.
Because we called a penalty on the other team
Yeah.
at a charity match.
Yeah. So
I mean,
all
you can't deny he's a competitive individual.
That is for sure, because he
point
still
is,
hates us.
all your idols hate us.
Yeah. Welcome to America. We'll be back right after this with more with Total Soccer Show.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Alexis, why are you talking?
Because I want to, dude.
We're doing a TV show. I don't remember.
Is that what these cameras are about? Get out of my living room.
Welcome back. We are here. We're still here with Total Soccer Show, Taylor Rockwell and Daryl Grove.
That's right, baby.
I wanted to talk to you guys and Daryl in particular about the last couple months, the last year or so
Yeah.
have been pretty intense, pretty scary. I know for you, for us, for your
The
for
fans,
family and
the-
friends.
yeah.
He said fans before family, which is
thought-
which shows where Alexis
This is
is.
hierarchy.
That's my hierarchy. Are the sandwiches scared? No? All right, well, then call my mother.
No, you, Daryl, you had a.
You want to talk about cancer, right?
I want to talk about cancer. You had a cancer.
Wow, shifted from first to fifth gear.
Boom. I don't know how to drive manual, so I'm a little scared right now.
Put it in
No, you had a cancer diagnosis over a year ago.
Yeah, January 2019. Yeah.
And obviously we were all incredibly shocked. I mean, this was a few months after we ended our tour.
Yeah.
And we didn't know what was going on. And now we see things. You generally look better. Everything is just in a much more optimistic place. But one thing I wanted to point out was really the soccer community.
Yeah.
Came together in a way I've really never seen.
Yeah.
And really donated to the GoFundMe and helped support. So how do you feel? How did you feel about that? And what does your life look like now?
Yeah, okay, so the last year, genuinely, you would think it's been the worst, but it's been this weird mix of the best and the worst. And one of the reasons why it's could be the best or it's been a good year is the response of the soccer community and the way sort of everybody helped fundraise and because even like have insurance, but you still need money.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? We won't get into
Yeah,
all
yeah.
the reasons for that, right?
Country sucks.
That'd be a whole block, right?
Because America's the best. We allow you to spend your own money.
Kind of.
Yeah, you're welcome.
But when you get a diagnosis like that, obviously it's a big downer, and you can be feeling like, oh no, what's going to happen? But then you get like a really good lift from the response of the soccer community, which was basically everybody, basically just well wishes, which are genuinely nice to receive. And then the fundraising made me less concerned about like how we're going to handle this kind of thing. And then third, it convinced my parents that the Total Soccer Show was a real thing.
There you go. Which is important because my mother's still like, I don't like what you do.
Yeah.
Go become a bus driver.
It took you having cancer for your parents to be proud of you.
It was kind of, but it was the response of like,
Yeah.
even on the GoFundMe, there'd be people who were like, hey, I listened to the show. And
Yeah. I saw it too. I
Yeah.
mean, it was, it's difficult it was, easy to get emotional about all of that because it really shows like, and we were talking about LAFC bringing orphans to a soccer game before. Like there's something about the soccer community, and then the American soccer community also, maybe because it's more like niche, people feel more protective of it. So there were so many people that were like, he's one of our own. Like we have to do everything we can for
You're
Daryl.
American.
And
now,
it was it was people that we know and love, like you guys. It was people who we don't really know, like your friends, the Men in Blazers. Like we've never met those guys, but they helped share it and promote it.
I believe
right?
they are
So-
good friends of the program.
but to your point, it's like the whole soccer community, even when you're not like actually connected, because we don't know the Men in Blazers, but they still helped share it. Yeah.
But like, I think one of the things that surprised me the most is you didn't set up the GoFundMe, right?
No, it was I just would have felt weird asking, right? But I'm very lucky that a good friend of mine, she set it up. And she's a copywriter, so she it
did sound very.
It was well written.
Yeah, it was very well written. But it was one of those things that I remember like talking to you, and you were like, I would have never set that up. I'm not the kind of person. And I was like, I'll set one up for myself for now, for vacation. You're the kind of person who wouldn't even do it when you have cancer. So seeing how sort of someone had to set that up for you, and then seeing how people reacted to it, and how many people came out and just wanted to help and posted messages and retweeted it and tweeted it on their own. When you see that, it sort of gave us like the idea that like, okay, soccer has a larger reach than sometimes we can imagine it when we're doing the shows like this. Sometimes you think like, oh, it's small and niche and whatever. You can see how big it got. Now, do you want to sort of just, are you able to update the fans a little bit on how you're feeling?
Yeah, so I've been doing little updates on the show. You've obviously not been listening.
What's the name of the show you guys do?
I refuse.
Yeah.
United States of Soccer. So
It's behind a paywall.
so initially surgery, remove the primary tumor, chemotherapy to attack the tumors that had spread. That worked for a little bit, then it stopped working. You guys, we did the live show in the middle of that, right? When I was the Daryl Skinny live show.
DC.
I was fitting in some shirts.
Right, where Quincy America was poking at you, and we're like, please stop.
Right in the tumor.
He poked you in the tumor. He can't hit a goal, but he can hit that. What's going on?
So then that stopped working, and then my doctor was like, hey, let's just try like a clinical trial. We'll find you one. And that sounds like a gamble, right? But they found me this thing in Boston that was really specifically targeted at a genetic mutation I've got. And so far, knock on wood, that wood, it's been working for like 2 or 3 months. It's been working.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, like when you hear clinical trial, I mean, when you mentioned that, it's just like, man, it's like, oh, is there nothing? It sounds like that's like a last resort.
It is,
basically, right? Yeah. And then to see you improve and just get better, and to your credit. And obviously we're not around you all the time, but every time I was
every 2 months, an intense few days.
But every time we were together, you were still incredibly optimistic and positive, and that it made me uncomfortable. Like I want to be sad more.
Yeah. Let me go through these emotions.
just to clarify, that's not just a you all thing. Like that's been from the beginning. Like there's never been a like, oh, I can't do that. I'm like struggling. I don't feel up to it. That's never been a thing with Daryl. It's always been very positive. It's always been very like, no, I want to get it done. It's pretty inspirational. It's pretty amazing to be around a person who never gets angry about it, never seems to have that like, woe is me, this isn't fair. It's just like, you're very rational. It's just like, it's a situation, I'm dealing with it, let's do the show.
Yeah, we rewatched The Cancer.
Yeah.
That's where it
Let's do
regrew.
one more
Okay.
time. Let's do this one more time.
Yeah, I have been pretty mad at your immune system. That more so your immune system than Greg Berhalter. It's where I am with that one. Come on, you got to mark that better. You
I
can't let that
remember
tumor grow.
in DC, I pulled Taylor aside. I'm like, this whole positive thing is bullshit. Like this guy's, and he's like, no, that's how he is. I'm like, you won't even tell me. Like it's something that honestly, it's been inspirational to watch, and it's been beautiful. And yeah, keep it going, keep being positive. I don't know that you need me to say that, but go ahead and do it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, up the Grove. All right, we'll be back with
There's
more.
only one down, bro. That's right, baby. We are back with Total Soccer Show. One of the things when we get together, we do special episodes, right? And one of the big things we do is we take listener questions. Now it's watcher questions, right? Which sounds weird.
Oh,
Sounds
I
like we're
think it's
behind you.
viewer.
I think it's viewer questions. I
I
don't
like
know.
watcher questions. Leave me alone. Sounds like we're behind you.
Sounds
I like
very
it.
voyeuristic.
Yeah. I could see you. So we got a couple questions. You guys ready for this?
Yeah.
All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ask a couple questions. I think we'll all get to answer. It'll be fun.
Yeah, it will.
All right. So you want to do the first one?
Oh, okay, sure.
Sure.
The first question comes from Reverend Joel L. Tolbert.
Is this a real reverend, though?
I looks like it.
He is,
He's
my
holding a
man.
book. I don't know what's in
Holding
the
a
book.
book. You must be a religious man.
It's Harry Potter. Wow, praise you, sir.
What? Because you own a white scarf?
So,
Wow, you think you're special, dog? No, I'm
Reverend Joel L. Tolbert, he says 3 things to immediately fix VAR in the Premier League. Go for it.
I got 3.
Shut down all media. Stop everybody complaining in the newspapers and websites.
So you're taking the dictatorial approach.
Absolutely.
So King Daryl says. So far, no more media.
Just no more complaining. Everybody stop complaining.
Okay.
It'll be fine.
All right, I got one. Go look at the screen, ref.
Yeah, they finally started. I think that they've done it 1 or 2 times this Premier League season where they're finally going to look at the screen. So I think there's going to be improvements. Obviously, the first thing, get rid of the offside line machine. It is pointless and useless.
the red line, blue line.
Yeah, what a waste of time. Like, let it be. If it's like a guess, if you have to guess, it's a goal. That's my opinion. For real.
So you want to give leverage to the offensive player?
Yeah, I want to see goals.
Yeah. Come on, baby.
Come here.
Make the goals bigger. That's how you fix VAR.
I mean, you can see the goals, they just don't count.
Oh, sure, yeah, which is just as fine.
Wow, semantics as if you people invented this language. You're just gonna sit here.
That's why when I just go to the park, I just throw the ball in the net and I lose my mind. I go
Rips his shirt off. Get the kids out of the park. He's back.
But Alexis, to your point, like we were all in Germany. We were at the Bayern Munich game with Frankfurt when I forget who got sent off. Was it Boateng who got sent off?
Boateng got
But like
the red
that
card.
whole process, like referee went to the sideline, looked at the screen, didn't mess around with the players, didn't stay and chat with them, and then went back, gave the red card, play resumed. It didn't take long. So I think that's a big one. I think to Daryl's point, like if there's better conversation about it and like it kind of ends up getting talked about, but like Daryl won't talk about it, I think, because it's like, yeah, like the line thing is frustrating, but it's the way the law is. It's being correctly utilized. It's just sort of, if we flip it back, then there's going to be that conversation about like, well, he was offside, that goal shouldn't stand. And so it's always going to be a frustrating scenario. So I think if the dialogue is better and maybe the explanations are more concise, I feel like the FA is starting to panic a little bit, or whoever it was this week who like released an apology before they were supposed to, like that feels a bit like you're sort of playing into the media narrative now and making it even more confusing in trying to make it more simplistic.
Even like the Lo Celso thing where they're like,
Yeah.
oh, it should have been. I'm sorry. That's during the game.
Yeah.
They apologize for getting that call wrong. It should have been a red card. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's not great. It's not a good look. See, Daryl's being quiet again.
Yeah. He
He's got nothing to say.
I was thinking if we do ban all media, then there's a hole that we could fill.
Yeah, that's a good point. Now we just got to start to become media.
Okay, next up, we got a question from Bug Eaters
Hey!
FC.
Shouts to Bug Eaters.
And coincidentally,
What a magic trick.
I pulled this out of the bag before we started because you had your jerseys on. I felt
we
left
got
out.
a Bug Eaters
And now it
scarf
works.
in the house. Bug Eaters FC asks, has television
Yeah,
given
got there.
soccer Cooligans egos? Hashtag Gully.
I mean, you can't give something that's already there.
Hey, that's right.
It's like,
Showing up with egos.
I'm assuming this is the owner, Jonathan.
Yes.
He kind of set me up for that one.
Yeah.
I'll be totally honest in this question. Christian, no. Alexis, there was
Absolutely
definitely
not.
Okay.
I know what you're gonna say.
Definitely a 5-minute period when we were in Germany where 3 different times I heard you say and I got a TV show, and I was like,
You must have not been paying attention the rest of the time. Because I was saying if I
You see, this is the kind of analytical takes you can get from watching the soccer show.
Well, they rewatched our friendship and they mapped out whose fault it is. Turns out it's mine.
The cool thing is we could rewatch it on TV.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can't because we're on TV. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
got a show?
So now's when we get you out of the studio for saying something disrespectful. So, no, John.
So next up, we have a question from Brian Hansen. He says, if you four were to watch a classic U.S. men's or women's national team game, Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, which game would you watch?
Also, thanks for pitching a wonderful idea for a television show.
So Mystery Science Theater 3000, does it have to be like a bad movie? And does that mean we have to watch a bad game? Or can it be a good movie and a good game?
You'd want it to be something that has a lot of stuff happening in it, right? So you could talk about it.
Okay.
But one that deserves to be talked about. One that has a lot of stuff happening in it.
I mean, I think I'll take the easy answer here. We also do a podcast called Soccer 101 where we explain basic terms or basic players, like how they got to be so good or whatever.
Plug whatever you want to.
And but one of the ones we're going to be doing, I think, in the upcoming season is the 2002 quarterfinal game against Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
USA Mexico in the World Cup, where USA wins 2-0. Rafa Marquez gets a red card for trying to murder Kobe Jones at the end of the game. I feel like that's got a lot of incidents and a lot of drama
It's
behind
like
it.
the start of
That's
Dr.
usually
Seuss.
murder is frowned upon in soccer.
Yeah. For some reason, not allowed.
When I saw this question, which is a great question, my first one that came to mind was the U.S. Algeria.
The Donovan
match,
game.
the Landon
Yeah.
Donovan goal. I mean,
See, for me, it would be U.S. Portugal, where Zusi took too long to come off, and that gave Portugal a chance to tie it up. 2-2.
Oh, you're talking about in 2014?
2014.
That game I would love to sort of break down because it was like we might beat Portugal.
Right. Yeah, we were so close.
Yeah, it's either that or the women's game against France in this last World Cup.
Okay. I was for the women's. I would say the '99 game,
Yeah, but we
the
just
final.
I feel like it needs incidents, though, right? Like
But
maybe Maradona '86 against England. It's got that like maybe best goal of all
Classic
time,
US
and it's got the
women's.
handball. Oh, sorry.
It's
Yeah,
right
there's
in
a lot
front
of
you.
there's a lot of epic soccer
Look at
games.
you making it about England all the time.
Oh no, but I think to your point though, if we
It's
were
a
going,
us, I thought he meant.
if we're going Mystery Science Theater, I think the USA Thailand game for the last Women's World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
would probably be one where there's so
That'd be
many
fun.
goals
Lot
and so
of-
many ridiculous
lot of
moments.
fodder.
That
Yeah,
might be
we
the
were
first
allowed
one
to-
where we get up and go to the concessions at the theater during the game.
Okay.
That is not the first time you've done that in a
Yeah,
game.
that's a good point. That's a good point. I poop.
So this this question came from Shaguna at Soy Shagu. Asks,
Shouts to Shaguna, by the way. She's
which
great.
golden girl are y'all?
And she's from Houston, which explains the y'all.
Okay.
I forget that that's not ubiquitous until I come to New York and I say y'all and I get the looks of like
People
you're,
stare at you.
You're not from here. I'm like, oh right, y'all.
Yeah, could you get out of the way, Buckaroo? I'm trying to get on the train. So, there's four of us, right?
So okay, well, I don't remember the name. I mean,
You got-
Dorothy,
Yeah,
Blanche.
yeah.
No,
It's not.
Estelle Getty.
Sophia was the old
It's
lady.
the high quality research we've come to expect from
remember
Cooligans.
that.
Who's Betty White? Rose.
and Rose. Okay.
I'm either the really old lady or Betty White, right? Like I'm either Rose.
Okay, I want to.
She's kind of dumb, so I feel like that's me. But then the other old lady's got a lot of attitude, which is
Yeah.
also me.
Rose is also kind of accidentally offensive a lot.
Yeah,
Right.
That's Christian.
Yeah,
right? Is that where
yeah.
you're
I
going?
think that's more
Is
me.
that where you're going with it?
I'm a Betty White for sure.
No.
Yeah, Rose is like she was like clever and a little snide, but like innocent.
No, she was kind of dumb. That's me.
No, Rose was she dumb?
Yes, Rose was hideously dumb.
Who was no? Oh, and then Blanche
Hideously
was
dumb.
the horny one.
Blanche was the wild one, right? We all know that's Daryl. I guess that makes you.
I get the whoever's left.
Bay. What's her name? B. Arthur.
B. Arthur, yeah.
I'm fine with
Dorothy.
that.
Dorothy.
Have you guys seen the show?
Yeah.
I have not, so I'm just kind of going with what y'all say.
I watched it as Lo Mujeres que son oro. It's a little different.
I want to be the horny one. Anyway.
I'm the dumb one. Whatever. We'll be back with more Total Soccer Show after this. We're back. Total Soccer Show. Absolutely amazing. Were you about to Millie?
No. I was
Okay.
just-
We got one more question. I know we were asking our questions before. I like this one. better U.S. men's national team coach between three guys who aren't men's national team coach, but I guess if they were, Nagelsmann, Klopp, and Pochettino. Who would you rather have as the men's national team coach?
And
I just want it on record. I'm okay with Greg Berhalter, if you're watching, okay?
Please do the show.
Jersey.
That's what I heard.
Because Jersey always looks out for Jersey. All right? But anyway.
Is he from Jersey? I didn't know that. You don't talk about that every time.
Yeah, I never bring it up. Trust my guy.
I would go Nagelsmann on that one, I think. Those
Why?
are the three options. Just because Klopp and Pochettino, I feel like they have systems that require everybody to like buy into them.
Be good at soccer?
Yeah, that's a big one. And then like it requires a lot of training, and I don't know if you can do that with a national team. Nagelsmann seems really flexible and does different formations based on the opponent and tries different stuff, and is also a child. So I think I would enjoy seeing a child.
32, right? He's younger than everybody sitting
Yeah.
How
here
old
this
is he
chair.
again?
32.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm 22 years old. I look terrible.
Cast me in Beverly Hills 90210.
I did think when we first met you,
Not even
I
on?
thought you were both younger than me because I think I'm the youngest of the four of us.
No, we're immature because we're comedians.
Well, you are. Christian just looks young.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, is that what it is? I don't know. When I look in the mirror, we both look the same.
I think you look phenomenal.
I think I would say Klopp, and here's the reason why. I've been saying for the longest that I think the men's national team is primed for a pressing style system because we're athletic more than we are good at soccer.
Yeah,
At least we have been for a
Nagelsmann
long
would bring
time.
that too, though, right? And would be cheaper.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, who
Yeah.
cares about money, bro? They got it. Yeah. They're not paying the women, right? So what's the difference? They got it. They got it sitting right there. We'll take it out of the woman's account.
well,
An actual thing that they might have said.
100%.
It is just like a shared
You know,
bank
Chuck
account.
Blazer yelled at one point as he rolled by in his rascal scooter on the way to
bought it
his
up-
cat's apartment.
like, but I think it's a fair point. Like,
Like how he just walks over.
is Jurgen Klopp that great of a manager because of the roster he has, or because of his coaching style, or is it a combination of both? Can a world like just epic manager go into almost any team relatively and drastically improve them?
So the other thing you always hear about Klopp, right? Taylor and I were always into the tactics, right? But the other thing you always hear about Klopp is that his players would run through brick walls for him, right? Like genuine, real brick walls, like this one here, right? His players would run through brick walls
100%
for
brick.
him.
By the way, production, well done.
I would love to just see a US national team inspired in that way, right? And
yeah.
imagine, like, you know, we go to the press conferences sometimes for national team games.
When we're allowed.
Yeah, imagine like, all his big toothy grin, that whole thing.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
Klopp would bring a real personality to the men's national team.
Okay,
I'm not sure that's allowed
And,
here.
but Pochettino's available, so there's that.
Klopp seems like the type who would be like you could hear him screaming from the locker room and then would just walk in and be like, "How we doing? Everybody good?" Just like,
Yeah.
that's not what I heard
I don't
before.
want to do this. Fucking, I'm really happy to be here, guys.
Well, we were talking about Nagelsmann from Dortmund, and Gio Reyna has been somebody that came up recently because obviously he's playing well. All he has to is just give the ball to Haaland and everything's working out, right?
Yeah, he knows the job.
Yeah.
But
Although he can score on his own. Great curler.
oh, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah, he got in the German Cup. So now the rumor is that it's possible that he hasn't been capped with the U.S. men's national team. There's matches coming up. It seems like that should be the right move and sort that out as soon as possible. But now, because he is Claudio Reyna's son, also born in Sunderland,
Right.
has, I believe...
There's no birthright in England, though, right?
I actually don't know the situation, but I know that right now he doesn't have a UK passport.
Okay.
So
They
he,
tried to give him one after Brexit, and he was like, yeah.
I think you have to have been eligible for the passport before you were 18, I think, in order to
Okay.
file a one-time switch, which I think he would have to do because he's played for the U.S. at an official
Yeah.
youth tournament.
I actually think if England wanted to do this, they would have to really like get FIFA to do sort of the thing that MLS does for LA Galaxy.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that'd be
They'd
good.
have to find
New
some
rules?
loopholes and like Bill Maher, new rules.
Yeah.
But I think the important thing with this story is it was reported. I've read the story, right?
Yeah.
It was on the Athletic.
again,
written
doing
by-
the research. Wonderful.
by-
We read a tweet, Daryl.
Exactly, right? So it's written by David Ornstein. It was essentially, he was just making note of the fact that the FA, the English FA, has this list of like possible England internationals that they're tracking. And
literally
Gio
thousands.
Reyna's, it's literally
Yeah.
thousands, and Gio Reyna's name is on it. And it's on a short list of players who've been impressing, and they might look into the citizenship situation, right?
Okay.
But even half of that headline enters the American soccer Twitter sphere, and we all freak out because Giuseppe Rossi hurt us.
Yeah. Also, Jonathan Gonzalez. I mean, there's been a bunch.
Yeah, we've been burned. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very sensitive. Like you don't. It's like as soon as the partial like title comes up, it's like please.
Yeah.
Why hurt us? We have nothing.
Yeah.
I did love Brian Sciaretta. Like somebody tweeted, like both of his parents like represented the like United States. Like he's definitely going to choose the U.S. And Brian Sciaretta was like, I hear that point, but to like stoke the drama a little bit, we do have a player who currently plays for the national team whose father played for another country and is now the president of that country in the form of Tim Weah. So like, you never know, but you do know he's playing for the United States.
Oh, but I said this to you last night, right? Like the difference between England and USA, like in soccer, is this. But then the difference between, say, USA and Liberia is like, you know, Liberia are not good at soccer, right?
Okay,
so it wasn't like it wasn't a tough choice.
They've got other things to worry about besides soccer in Liberia for sure. If you're the president, you're like, let's not focus on who's playing the national team right now.
And then I think McBride came out and said today, like I'm not like he's going to Europe right now to talk to a couple different players. He's not talking to Reyna, but like expects to hear more about him from us like very soon, which implies he's going to get caught up in March.
It was like,
So-
we're excited about him, and you'll see soon.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So he could be in the national team for the March friendlies, like Wales and
And we're going to
Netherlands.
get crushed by the Netherlands, and then he's going to be like, you know what, England? Actually,
During the game, you see him pick up his phone.
Serginho
Don't
Dest will
put
be
me
like-
in.
But there's also the Olympic qualifiers for which he's eligible, right? So if Dortmund let him go, he could be playing for the U23s and could get us qualified for the Olympics finally.
Let's go.
All right.
Gio Reyna for president.
We'll be
Of
back
England.
with more right after this, guys.
Hello and welcome back, baby!
Hey, all right.
To
Okay.
the Total Soccer Show takeover. Takeover.
We're going to cut
of the
this part
Cooligans.
out.
They came in here and ripped up our contracts. How dare they?
All these microphones are belong to us.
you guys were just really nice to us in the opening segment, so we wanted to repay the favor and say some nice things about you. You guys are fine. So we do have
That's the nicest thing that's ever been said about us.
we do have a bit of like a trivia game for you all. But I
So
did
for
wanna-
the people who are watching or listening, this is something you guys do on your show.
No, not this one. This is the new
Cool.
one.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
I should yes and you. Yes and not really.
During our live shows, this was incorporated a lot. We
Yes.
would do games with audience members or guests and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
it was mostly because the two of them are very, very funny and have good bits and good sets, and then the two of us were like, everyone just like comics, and then these guys, and then comics again. So we had to figure out some sort of thing to do.
So this is like the filler between Cooligans stand-up sets.
Yeah, basically.
Perfect.
When we went back, splashed our face with water.
I do have one question for y'all, which I'm guessing probably gets asked routinely. How did you decide who gets the chair and who's on the couch?
Fubo decided.
Yeah,
Okay.
they put the fat guy on the couch.
They needed more support. They needed more
You and Andy Richter?
Yeah.
Follow the formula. All right. So we had a listener question a while ago. If you all listen, then this is going to be a very simple game. It just feels like a thing that you all could sort of riff on very well.
Okay.
It came from Matt Koss, who said, I remember reading about how Mario Balotelli had a behavior clause and a per-goal money bonus in his Liverpool contract. What are some other strangely or specifically written soccer contracts? So we have a few players who had very strange contracts. I'm going to give you the question, and you can tell me what you think the clause was. So, Stefan Schwartz, when he signed for Sunderland in 1999, was prohibited from traveling where? More specifically, he was prohibited from leaving what?
Oh, the player hotel.
All right, so Alexis is saying the player hotel.
He was.
What about for games?
I mean, unless he's with the team. So I guess it's then the country.
All right, so Alexis has gone with a serious answer. Christian, if I were to give you the hint that this is not a serious answer.
He was so he prohibited from leaving where? I guess his home. Like, was he like on house arrest?
I'm assuming the country of England.
So can I give the answer?
You can give the
Just so I
answer.
have a role here. He was not allowed to leave the planet Earth. Because he had expressed an interest in signing up for
No, his
for
agent
space
had
travel.
booked a seat.
Yeah, like a space travel
Yeah.
service.
And they were worried that he was going to
Hilarious.
leave. Yeah. So keep that in mind as I ask you this one.
Okay.
How
all
else are we
right.
supposed to prove the world's flat, dude?
A Neymar one.
Let's go.
Which of these did Neymar have in his Barcelona contract? A clause that allowed his friends from Brazil to visit every 2 months with Barcelona paying for all expenses, or another clause, a different clause, guaranteeing him £2 million if he did not dispute the coach's choice regarding his position on the field.
Oh, which one of those is real?
What-
Oh, that.
Arguing his choice on the field or his homies? I feel like knowing Neymar, it's the homies one is the real one.
The homies have to. That feels more real. It feels like a. I mean, Is he that?
You want me to sign? You got to get my mans in them up here. Once every 2 months?
Yeah. Oh, well, I'll just go. I'll pick the opposite just so one of us will be right.
I'm saying the homies.
But the coach.
You've met Taylor before. It was both.
It was both. You're both correct.
You got us. You tricky buckaroo.
What?
Maybe a slightly easier, more obvious one. When Luis Suarez signed for Barcelona, Barcelona good with the contracts.
He bit the.
Yeah. That's his signature.
Barcelona inserted
a chomp out of
a clause that prohibited what action, which would be met with harsh punishments and financial penalties.
Biting then.
Correct.
Yeah.
He has a no biting clause in his
nibble.
Barcelona contract. We'll do. How much time do we have?
We have
Should we do one more?
we have about 2 more minutes. Go for it.
All right, well, we'll do 2. Well, we'll just do 1 because there's only one more really good one. Giuseppe Reyna, when he signed for Arminia Bielefeld in 1996, he signed a 3-year contract. He inserted a clause into his contract requiring the club to build him a house for every year he was under contract at the club. The club honored this agreement, so to speak, but not in the way he intended. What did the club do?
They built tiny little houses every year. That's my guess.
You are correct.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Out of Lego.
Yeah, for real?
He did not.
That's how I would handle it.
Yo, you think you slick, my guy? Is this a school for ants?
You know, it's like the little Kim Kardashian got her daughter a little house and like a dream house, but
Yeah.
she could after she's a toddler.
It's got like a second floor in it and all
Yeah,
that, right?
yeah, but it's like I would build those. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like it's not as insulting as Legos, but it's like, hey, your kids or your dog can have a good time in this little.
You think he was upset
playhouse?
or he was like, you guys are good. You guys are good.
Because I was like initially like tiny houses, like tiny house hunters or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah,
no,
that would.
Legos is
They went
better.
even smaller.
Legos well disrespectful. He's like, can the next one be red at least?
All right, we'll be back with more after this, everybody. All right, we did it again.
Come on.
Crushed it with Total Soccer Show. What a collab! Finally on television.
Normally it's just us two, but look how good we are carrying them as well. I mean,
my back hurts a little bit.
It's true.
isn't it great?
No, we were talking during the break. Apparently, this is the first time Taylor and Daryl have done television.
Well, you're welcome. Okay, and we want to cut. What? I'm not sure. No, it's been an honor to have you guys on. It's
been an honor to be here.
Yeah,
our best
thank you.
friends in the business, you know.
Really? I like the caveat at
That
the
means
end.
a lot.
they're
Thanks,
outside.
guys. Yeah, okay. Get out. Yeah.
John Strong? John Strong's coming.
John Strong is here.
So, guys, let people know what they should look out for. Any projects or anything you guys got coming up.
Well, there's the show, the Total Soccer Show, which is available on all good podcast players. We also have, Taylor mentioned it earlier, right?
And the bad ones, too.
And the bad ones too. Soccer 101, which is our sort of guide to soccer.
Which is great. I love that show,
And
too.
then we've been dabbling in a little bit of producing. The actual producers would maybe laugh at what we're doing, but we're producing. We've got a show called MLS Assist, which is an assist with MLS Tactics.
Right.
If you want to hear about MLS Tactics, it's Joe Lowry, Jordan Angeli. And we're also working with Paul Tenorio and Sam Stagegirl on Allocation Disorder.
Another great show. Yeah.
That's all great.
So make sure you tune in, guys. So as we end the show all the time, so for Taylor Rockwell, for Daryl Grove,
Oh, I love this
my
bit.
name is Christian Polanco.
I'm
and
Alexis Guerreros, and together, what are we?
The Cooligans!